So following, wow, following your drug dealing mule situation in college, I mean, so did you end up actually getting your AA and pursuing that, or did you get into some other things? I know you say you got into music a little bit too.
Oh boy. No, I did not finish the AA degree. I ended up leaving the community college, and I ended up playing music, running around with those guys for a minute, and that scene was wild. You know, it was cool, but there was a lot going on. You know, you had, you know, guys that you kind of looked up to in bands. You know, they would be doing drugs. Like one dude did lines of cocaine. Like, that's how you got in to do gigs with him. It was like, I only get down with people that do lines of cocaine.
Oh, so he wouldn't even play with you unless you did the cocaine with him?
You got to do the cocaine. There was a lot of guys out there that did that. You got to do what they do. Like, you start getting into that entertainment thing, like, you got to do what they do.
Yeah.
You do what they do, they trust you.
That's like okay, now
initiation.
Yeah. You want to get in?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You want to do that, and that's how it was. I did not touch this stuff. So it did not make it popular for me to hang out in certain circles because I was not willing to do anything and everything.
Did you see a lot of people compromise themselves doing that just to fit
in?
Oh,
yeah, man. There were a lot of people that were trying to compromise themselves. There were a ton of people just trying to compromise themselves all the time just to get in. Even if it was just a thought they could get in, you know, they would do it. They would just say, oh, okay, yeah, I'll do it, you know, and
it's
that's
only one time. I mean, shit, this is no big thing.
And if they got that addictive personality, that they'll take it. They got hooked.
Wow.
So I did the music scene. I hung out with a lot of people. Not all of them were like that. Some of them ended up being really cool. And I enjoyed it for what it was for the time, but then band breakups, people with drug addictions, a lot of people trying to step on you to get ahead. A lot of people would form bands, use whatever ability people had to get ahead. Yeah, and then get another band, and then use that ability.
Wow.
And then get another band, and another band to get them to where they want to be.
Did anybody you ran with actually make it big?
That's a good question. I don't think anybody really took
Broke
off.
through, huh? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think they really took off. I think people had, some people started working for like Capitol Records and stuff like that, but I think they just worked there, like sound engineering, stuff like that. I think a lot of people did that. As far as bands really taking off to go, wow, like I can't think of one off the top of my head. And if I forgot, guys, I'm sorry. But well, I can't remember. So it was kind of tough, but I enjoyed the music scene for what it was. And then when it started to get grimy, you know, people just backstabbing you. That's what happened.
Yeah,
you know, people trying to use your equipment. You know, I had one band member, they used her house, and then she started, the one person started bringing in shady people, you know, like we were talking about a little bit earlier, you know, they're trying to look at your house and see what they can get.
Exactly.
That started to happen.
I've seen that even on when I was in the adult scene. People would bring people around and then cameras would come up missing.
Yeah.
Oh, $30,000 camera. Somebody just happened to pocket that.
That's what was happening, man. And I didn't want any part of that, so I kind of just backed out at the time. You know, I got out at the right time, and the music scene was kind of dwindling down. And at that time, I just started playing with certain people, or just at home and doing my own thing. You know, the band thing flared out quick because everybody wanted to be famous, and I just got tired of that. Like once I really saw what it did to people and how it messed up people, I was out. I was like, eh.
So from the outside looking in, for a lot of people, man, they have these big grand dreams of being like a rock star or some famous singer. You know, what would you tell them, man? Because you've seen it, man. You've seen it. You've been to some of the parties. I know you know, not to name drop, but you've seen a lot of stuff going on. What would you kind of give the people some insight on?
I would tell people, look, music's great, music's fun, music's fine, but you have to kind of be in a position where you'll always be able to do what you want to do. If you get into a position where people are telling you what to do, where to go, what parties to show up to, what time, too much, that's something you don't want to do. You can look at the greatest performers. You know, I remember Shirley Manson from Garbage talked about how when they signed their record deal, because record deals are kind of a ripoff, they own you. A lot of people don't know this. Let me educate you real quick. They own you.
Your name, everything.
They own everything. They only give you a percentage. That's it. And so that's why when you see bands like, let me think of one, Metallica. James Hetfield was talking about how he was so excited to buy his catalog. And you're going, oh, he's excited to buy his catalog. Because once he buys his catalog, he owns the name again. He owns the T-shirt. He owns the merchandise. He starts making a majority of the money. The record companies have to deal with him in so many ways. Now they're running the show. So when you sign up as a big band, you're going to be owned for a long time. And then when you guys build up all that money, hopefully, you guys do, you can take your money, go in together, and buy your guys' catalog.
So you don't own nothing, none of the music.
You barely own anything. They take it, and they make the majority of the money off of it. Now, here's the other trick, is they go, oh, man, we got you guys some new clothes, we got you guys shoes, we got you a hotel down the street, we got you reservations at the lobster place, we got you guys lobsters on the table. They are charging you for all that, and they don't tell you. And then when you guys get that big album and the money starts coming out, they go, whoa, wait a minute. We bought you guys those outfits. We took you to that restaurant. We bought you guys those custom hats, that outfit for touring, that new microphone, those new guitars, all that all costs. Here's the bill for that. And you look at the bill, and at the end of the bill, maybe you'll get $500 to split amongst each other. If you got bigger money, there might be some bigger money, but not what you were thinking because they charged you for all that. And it will be that way forever. So once you learn that lesson, you have to then get all that stuff yourselves. You band guys get together, buy all your own equipment, buy all your own stuff. Unless you have sponsors that sponsor this stuff, then that's cool. And then you'll get some kickback from that. But if the executive guys are buying your stuff, oh no. They'll charge you for that. They won't tell you. They don't tell you till the money comes out and you're going, yeah, money. And then that's when they go, whoa, wait up. Look at the bill. That's how much it costs. And you're like, everything. Toothbrush. Even they bought you a toothbrush. They bought you some gummy bears. It's all on there. They don't bottle water.
Everything's itemized.
Yeah, you used my toilet. They look at everything. They get you for everything because then that's how they justify taking all the percentage of the money.
So you've ran across people and they just look like, man, I sold my soul.
Yeah. They sold their soul, to get in for music. And so you have to kind of be careful with these deals. If you want to do music, do it yourself. Learn how to sound engineer your own stuff, make your own music, make your own stuff, buy your own stuff, work for you. And people that you can trust to, help you schedule things and things like that. Run your own little empire. Do not go down to the major studios. You only go to the major studios if they allow you what you want to deal with. If they're telling you what to do, they're going to own you.
Yeah.
They will buy, they buy your product, they buy you. That's a package deal.
Yeah. They own your brand and name, everything.
They're going to be telling you where to go. Oh, the award site, you guys got to be there front row. You guys got to do, they're going to be telling you what to do, where to go, where to sleep, where to eat. I had some friends of mine, they were a much smaller level. They were signed to a much smaller label. It wasn't a big label. But here's what happened. They got the label, yay. They went to, I believe, Germany. And they came back broke. They didn't make any money. They didn't really sell any merchandise. They didn't really have any. They did the tour. They wanted to tour them like crazy, but they came back with no money. So that's what ended up happening, was that they came back with no money, nothing to show. So guess what? They had to go back to their regular jobs. And that was that. And they had a contract.
All that stardom to back to working regular 9 to 5.
That's right. And a lot of people, especially in music, that happens. The music game is very different because I worked in film. And I can tell you both sides, like film was way easier, in my opinion, to do things with, to get known and whatever you're doing and to launch things. Music was like 0 to 0. You could have the best song, you could have the best this, you could have the best look, you could have everything. You could put on the best show and everybody talk about it. But you might never get a record contract, you might not have anybody really look at you, you might not have anybody go through with it. And that's how it is. I've known way talented bands, that make you go, wow, and performances out of this world. Not one record contract, not one. So when they do their albums, they're doing it themselves, they're putting them out, they're promoting their shirts, they're doing it themselves, and they're not making any money. So they're throwing the money in to get their merchandise done and their albums done, no record contracts, so they're just playing shows. And when you play at a lot of these clubs, see, the club scene, I know about that. The club scene, a lot of the big club scene stuff was set up in the 70s and in the 80s, right? So after that, all those mogul guys that made all that money, they leased out their places to other clubs to get started, but they made very little money. Very little money. I mean, I'm talking like some nights guys would come back home, 2 partners in it together, they'd have $500 to split amongst each other.
Damn.
And they would have cleared money like crazy. Like it would have been a shutout night. And that head mogul guy would have taken all that money and said, here's a few bucks. Go buy some candy. That's literally what they do. So for those people out there that want to do this, run clubs, want to do music, be aware of that you're going to take a serious gamble. I'm not telling you not to do it, but just be aware and don't get tricked, because the music industry is the trickiest thing. Film's tricky too, but something about the music world is very tricky. Something about the music world is if they can steal your idea and get away with it and make money off of it and cut you out, they will do it in a drop of a hat. And that's all entertainment. So you have to be very careful with the ideas that you bring and who you choose to share and bring into your circle, because they'll jack you out of it in a second. Wow. They won't take 2 thoughts. They'll cut, grandma's throat, whatever they got to do to get that money. If they think that there's something that they can take from you, they will work day and night, I remember when I started doing film stuff, there was a guy that was real interested in me. And I mean, he emailed me, stayed in contact with me. And then one day he said, yeah, man, you got to go with me to this church. And I said, okay, I'll go with you. Okay, what kind of church? And it was this random church. But what it was a church where they just did everything. You could worship God, Buddha, plants, chairs, whatever. And they went in there. But this is where all those head people were hanging out. And he said, yeah, man, you get down there and you talk to these people, you'll be in good.
So you got to be as part of that crowd.
Yeah, you got to be a part of that crowd. But then you got to start owing them some things. See? And I'm just going to go ahead and say it. I don't care. I'm going to say it. The guy that was running it was a guy named Michael Reverend Rabinowitz. And this was Oprah's advisor. Okay? So if you know about Oprah, I'm just going to be honest. She does some weird stuff. And so that was her spiritual advisor.
Is that the same guy that caught the case recently for the molest of the kids down in South America? Because one of her spiritual guides, he really...
It might have been him, because I know she had a couple...
guy?
Yeah, I think that was him.
He caught 20 years.
So, yeah. So it was like meeting this dude, doing whatever weird favor he wanted to get in. And I remember I looked at my wife and I said, I don't have the greatest feeling about this. I don't think we're going to go. So I said, hey, man, I appreciate it, but I think we're going to decline from that. And here's the weird thing. The dude disappeared like he didn't even exist. His email didn't exist. He's ghost.
Deleted you from whatever file, whatever, huh?
When you're dealing with people with a lot of money and a lot of position and power, they got weird, freakish superpowers like that where they can just get up and they can make stuff go away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, I've talked about it before on this channel and on Big Herc, man, that, Hollywood, man, there's so many hitting things that people that later regret and get involved in, and that's one of the reasons why you have so much people relapse on drugs. Yeah. It's not because, like, you think about it, man, if you're worth 30 million, you're making movies that every time getting 15, 20 million, why would you contemplate suicide? Yeah. Why would you want to do all the drugs? You're living a good life. What is it you're trying to soothe or comfort or hide from? So it's pretty crazy, man. And it's like, a lot of people don't talk about it because they feel like, hey, they don't want nobody to know, but there's a lot of dark things that happen, and, a lot of people just don't have no clue, man.
That's the thing. And here's the thing, Big Herc, that they don't tell you a lot is, let's say you're big movie star, big rock star. Okay, you're getting tired from all the tours. Some people will go, hey, man, try some of this. And they'll give you that energy. and it'll give you that kick. And they get hooked on it. Okay, I got that kick, that energy. Let's say it's cocaine. Cocaine is kicking you up. It's making you do what you need to do. Guess what? Now you're hooked. Guess what? Now you're a junkie. You see the connection there? That's it. And guess what? Now you owe this guy, $10 million in cocaine.
Yeah.
Guess what? That's what happened to the money.
Yeah.
That's how they ended up on the street. There you go.
Yeah.
And it's a game.
Yeah.
And I was very hep with that game. I actually had a friend of mine, his older brother was an original member of No Doubt at one time. And so he kind of kept me up, as you say, laced up on
He's seen a lot of shit, huh?
He kind of told me, he's like, okay, look at this. And so he kind of just schooled me a little bit. So I kind of went in there a little bit more prepared than most of these young, I hate to say it, but country bumpkins coming out and just going, yeah, let me sign up for everything.
Well, because you're green.
Yeah.
You know, you're green. You're thinking, hey, man, you know, I'm street. I'm from hip to this. This is a whole nother level of the game. Whole nother level of the game. You street, but they might got some cheek busting stuff going on here. You ain't used to.
Yeah. They said, you know, when you do certain things, you need a PhD degree. You need a PhD degree in learning that business.
Yeah.
Which means you need to sit down with people that really have your best interest at heart, that know that business, to tell you, don't go here, don't go there, don't hang around this, do this, don't do that. You need that, and you need to understand why and deeper, so you can understand what you're getting yourself into. Because if you don't, you'll get swallowed completely whole. And nobody will give a care, and you'll be one of those. Yeah, you'll be one of those homeless people talking to themselves on Venice, Venice Beach area. You know, like John Witherspoon in Hollywood Shuffle or something. You end up like that, and you're like, look at that crazy guy. You know who that guy once was?
Yeah, I
You'll
know.
be that guy.
I know, it's sad, bro.